Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wendell Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live from the Workers' Rights Network. Now, what we are going to do is play a tape. I know we come in a little late. We are going to play the incident in which would have occurred around 12 o'clock, 12 noon, in the square in WoodFord Square, and some of the things that Wendell Eversley would have been saying there on that platform. So we're going straight into the video. Stay tuned. We are going up next.
I would like to apologize for the late start. I would like to apologize for the late start and not starting on time. 12 noon. At Trinidad and Tobago, the reason why I didn't start on time is because I got good news. And the good news that I got, I had to celebrate. And I still celebrating. It's a joy when anyone gets good news. And today, I received good news. And let me say, all those who join in, Miss Mohammed, Miss Hollandwood, thank you all. And thank everyone who always join in the live for the support that you all have been giving me throughout the years. But today, I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something today. Today I am a proud man. When you receive news of success, you must celebrate it. When you receive news of achievement, you must celebrate it. When you receive news, especially when it's someone close to you, you must celebrate it. But I will tell you all about that news just now. Today, on the Eversley show, I come to let Trinidad and Tobago know about certain things. And if you all go on my Facebook page, you always see the topics that I'm going to discuss today with the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I want you all to know, I put God first. My children and my country. And I want you all to know also too that I put Trinidad and Tobago before a political party. I have a ring here, and if you all seen it, the ring is the color of the national flag of Trinidad and Tobago, red, white and black. This do not ever come off of my hand. Red, white and black. Anywhere I go, anyway, I have this on, and I be proud. And I tell anybody I am a Trinidadian and I love my country. And anywhere I go and they see Wendell Eversley well dressed, I always have the national pin, as you all can see it here, and the national steel band, the national instrument, the steel band, the national instrument. And I wearing these before the government of the day proclaim the steel band as our national instrument. I always have it on, anywhere I go. When I travel, I well dress in my suit, and I always have on the national pin of Trinidad and Tobago and the national instrument. And I could show you all pictures, videos. Trinidad and Tobago, it's time we listen to the message and stop condemning the messenger. I'm saying it again. Trinidad and Tobago, it's time you listen to the message and stop condemning the messenger. And when I come here to speak to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, on the Eversley shows, coming to you live from the People's Parliament, the University of the West Indies, I come in to bring facts to you all. I want to tell you all something, Trinidad and Tobago, today. Yesterday, I said something, and I want to repeat what I said yesterday. I said, we live in a country with different race. We live in a country with different race. And I went further and I said, the problem now is how we deal with it. Trinidad and Tobago, listen to what I said. I said we live in a country with different race. I said the problem now is how we deal with it. And I went further and I said, by putting Trinidad and Tobago first. I say by putting race first. I said by putting Trinidad and Tobago first. Trinidad and Tobago, every term of government in this country, we had constitutional reform. I'm saying it again. Trinidad and Tobago, every term of each government from 1956 to present, we had constitutional consultation constitutional talks throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We had it under Eric Williams, when I checked the records, we didn't have it under George Chambers, because I just do my research. But nevertheless, George Chambers came from the party that had it under Eric Williams. Because when Eric Williams died, George Chambers took over as political leader and Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So we had it under Eric Williams, while George Chambers was part and parcel of that political party. When George Chambers lost the election of 1986, and under A.N.R. Robinson, 33, they talk about constitutional reform leading up to the campaign. And leading up to the campaign and leading up to the election of 1986. But when A.N.R. Robinson, under the National Alliance, formed the government, we never had constitutional reform. A.N.R. Robinson came out of government. Patrick Manning came. Patrick Manning had a constitutional reform. Patrick Manning wanted to have an executive president. And you all know what become of Patrick Manning. Consultation on constitutional reform. Vast part they talk about constitutional reform. A.N.R. Robinson was the one responsible for Bassett Pandey to become Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. You all must not forget the 1772. So I am out here today to tell people of Trinidad and Tobago we must put Trinidad and Tobago first, not race. We must put Trinidad and Tobago first, because when we look at the different races that we have in this country today, everybody came. Don't matter how you came, everybody came. Morgan Job, may his soul rest in peace. He said one of the biggest mistakes the country have made is by having Indian Arrival Day, Emancipation Day. Instead, we should have Arrival Day. One day, one holiday, and call it Arrival Day. Morgan Job said that. Morgan Job, who was a messenger, but instead of they listening to the message, they cussed Morgan Job. And if we had that holiday called Arrival Day, don't matter who come first, who come last, in this country called Trinidad and Tobago, they are still arrive. They are still arrive. You see, Trinidad and Tobago, today I come in to bring a message to you all. And it's either you all want to listen to the message, or you all want to go down a road to divide this country and to have this country where it is today, because today our country facing a lot of problems. Trinidad and Tobago is facing a lot of problems. And I want to tell you all the simple thing today, what we hear about the steel pan, which is our national instrument, is going to go on the coat of arms. And what is happening today, the talk shift from that, and the talk right now is about Africans and Indians. And the talk is not about Trinidad and Tobago. But I want to tell you all, this country do not only have Africans and Indians. This country have also the Chinese, and the Chinese come before the East Indians. This country also have the Portuguese community. This country also have the French. This country also have the British. This country also have the Dutch, because everybody came. Everybody came. Trinidad and Tobago, I don't care about a political party. I care about my country called Trinidad and Tobago. I care about the red, white, and black. Today we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems, and what we have to do is look to solve our problem. And our main problem in this country is crime. I listened to the 8 o'clock news today. I listened to the 8 o'clock news today. A father and his 5-year-old daughter was murdered. Listen to what I'm telling you all, you know. I listened to the 8 o'clock news today. A father and his 5-year-old daughter was murdered in Moruga. Trinidad and Tobago, what our country coming to? What our country coming to? School opening soon. In less than 2 weeks time, school opening. An influx of Venezuelan children will be in our schools. When you look at the price of school books, textbooks, it's very expensive. When I talk to teachers, teachers say, Wendell, Eversley, as a teacher I could tell you, children go to school without even having a textbook. Listen to what I'm telling you all in Trinidad and Tobago, you know. I listen to teachers telling me, a matter of fact, teachers telling me 2 days ago, Tuesday, that's why I didn't come here on Tuesday, when I hear these cries from teachers saying, Wendell, Eversley, children going to school for a whole year without textbooks. And when you hear these kind of things, how you expect to feel? How you expect to feel? When they say, Wendell, talk about these things. Talk about these things on your show. When people could come out and say, Wendell, we are listening to you, you know. We mightn't come out here in our numbers to support you, but your message has been reaching far and wide. And today, we want to divide our country because of a steel pan. We want to preach race because of a steel pan. We have bigger problems to study than a steel pan. I just say PNM is the problem, UNC is not the solution. And all I can, I've been saying that for the past 9 years, every week. Every week. But the conversation today must be Trinidad and Tobago. The conversation today must be, how should we fix the problems that we are facing right now in our country? How should we get away from those crooked politicians? How should we get away from the crooked directors on state boards? How should we get away from those crooked politicians who are making deals with businessmen and businesswomen and taking taxpayers' money and messing up the place? That's what we're supposed to be studying today in Trinidad and Tobago. And that is the language we're supposed to be talking. That is the language we're supposed to be talking. Not about what come here, what come here. Because if we got to think about it, and every race who come here should say they have their culture, and their culture should be on the coat of arms, what will become of Trinidad and Tobago today? What will become of Trinidad and Tobago today? Today we have to fix what is wrong and put what is wrong right. And what is right will remain right. But we cannot put what is wrong right. And I am here to tell you, the people of this beautiful country of Trinidad and Tobago, the land of my birth, the land of my birth, the land of where my foreparents came here through their hardship, the land of where other race came here, who come as hired laborers, who come and see how they could benefit from the wealth of the country, because everybody come here, every race come here. No matter how you come, and you arrive already native. Ready native. What was this coat of arms of the native? We ever study that? We ever study what was the coat of arms of the Caribs and the Arawaks? And they were the people who originally from this country called Trinidad and Tobago. We don't want to know about that. But we want to cuss one another, divide one another, talk race. And why we talking race? A mother being murdered. Why we talking race? A teenager being murdered. Why we talking race? A 5-year-old girl child have been murdered along with her father. Why we talking race? Gangs committing havoc in our country. Why we talking race? Corruption left, right and center. Why we talking race? Angostura puts an account for taxpayers' money that bail out Angostura. Only studying that. Only studying this thing. Only studying Terence Barrett. And calling on Terence Barrett, who telling us that Angostura lost over $17 million and only calling for Terence Barrett to go, but only talking about a steel pan. Only talking about a steel pan. Is it that we are seeing something today that people trying to see how they could cover up their wrongdoings? Today, I get good news. I'm supposed to be celebrating. I get good news today, and I'm supposed to be celebrating. And any man that get good news should celebrate. But instead, I celebrate. I have to warn Trinidad and Tobago about the ills that going on in this country. And I will stop talking. I will not stop talking. Every father that get good news should celebrate, should be happy, should be joyous. When a father could have a child who is in sports and could make sure that sports don't affect his academic, that is a great achievement. Any father who have a son who represented Trinidad and Tobago in sports and could still come and succeed with his studies, that's a great achievement. And instead of I celebrate today, I have to come and warn Trinidad and Tobago about the ills that our country is facing. About the ills our country is facing. I bring in the message, and I want you all to listen to the messenger. I bring in the message, and I want you all to listen to the messenger. And I asking you all, don't condemn the messenger. And I bring in the message to the people of this country called Trinidad and Tobago today. And I want to tell you all today, because I asked the question, and I'm going to say it again. And when former ambassadors and current ambassadors, and when media personnel could be calling me to asking me questions, and I refusing to answer them, and I telling them, listen to me on the Eversley show, because I want to talk for Trinidad and Tobago, and nobody will get me to push agenda that they want. I want to push an agenda for the red, white, and black. I don't want to push agenda for no political party. Even the political party that I belong to, which is the COP, which I will stand up for them. But certain things I am not, will never stand up for. And I just tell them as it is. And they say, Eversley, the stock is mine. I am not a member of the PNM, and I am not a member of the UNC. And there's always a PNM is the problem, UNC is not the solution. And I've been saying it for years. I wrote the Commissioner of Police numerous times. I wrote the President every single year for the past 34 years. I wrote the Prime Ministers of Trinidad and Tobago for the past 34 years. I am a person who has been consistent in what I've been doing. I wrote the speakers of the House of Representatives for the past 34 years. I'm saying it again. I've been consistent in what I've been doing. I've been standing up for this country, and I haven't shift for what I've been doing. I've been consistent, and I will continue to be consistent. You know why? Because I love this country, and I stand up for this country in the darkest period of our country history, when our nation was under attack, in the darkest hour, where we was held hostage in the Parliament chamber for 6 nights, 5 days, 5 nights and 6 days. And when I was released, I didn't run and hide. I stand up to make sure that this is part of our history, and this should never happen again in our country called Trinidad and Tobago. And if it wasn't for Wendell Eversley, all those fencing that you see around the Parliament today, it was not there. If it wasn't for Wendell Eversley, all the security that you see today in our Parliament by Army and TTPS officers, and today if they even have the Parliament police, that wasn't there before, because Wendell Eversley fought for it. Because our Parliament was a free-for-all. That's why we had an attempted coup. That's why we had an attempted coup. And it's time Trinidad and Tobago know the facts. And I'm laying out the history for you all. I have walked up and down. If it wasn't for Wendell Eversley, they would have never have a commission of inquiry into 1990. And the recommendation to have command centers. Because it never had those things. And all these things was formed because Wendell Eversley stand up for Trinidad and Tobago all by myself, walking up and down the country consistently and ain't giving up. But I want to tell you all today, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to put country first. Because all of us came here. All of us arrived here. And we have to be grateful. No matter how we came with the hardship, we stay here and build this country called Trinidad and Tobago. Because if all of the talking today and all the nonsense, why all you pack up all yourself and go back to all your homeland? Why the Syrians don't go back to Syria? Why the English don't go back to England or the United Kingdom? Why the Indians don't go back to India? Why the Portuguese don't go back to Portugal? Why the Dutch don't go back to the Dutchland, Holland, the United Kingdom? Why the Africans don't go back to Africa? Because we build here and we make here our home. And when I can see a small country of Trinidad and Tobago, with how much square miles we are? 1,800 and something. What is the population? 1.5 million. And why we have so much a division? Why we have so much a race? Why we can't see ourselves as Trinidadians and Tobagonians? When you listen to the steel pan, all type of people playing steel pan. I'm not talking about outsiders. I'm talking about people in Trinidad here, Africans, Indian, Douglas. We own local whites playing steel pan. When you all visit pan yards throughout Trinidad and Tobago, when it's come to the panorama season, you will see how much whites coming into this country to loan pan. You will see how much Chinese coming in this country to loan pan. You see how much people coming from America from different ways to loan our pan. I am the Vice President of the TASA Association of Trinidad and Tobago. I say the TASA should get a subvention, a yearly subvention. I wrote to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said, I've received a letter and they're considering it. I don't want to get in the argument with the TASA and the PAN. And I'm not going to go there. Because Trinidad and Tobago have bigger problems that we are facing right now. We have bigger problems that we are facing right now. And I want to deal with the problems that we are facing right now. I have been talking about constitutional reform for years. I walked from Arima to Port of Spain. And it looked like those people who the Prime Minister presently appoint and those who was there before under the PP, listen to what I'm saying. I called for term limits for the Prime Minister. I called for the right to recall. I called for full-time MPs. I called for constitutional reform in the judiciary, constitutional reform in the TTPS. I called for constitutional reform in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. I called for constitutional reform in Service Commission. Because I can understand a small country like Trinidad and Tobago, to get certain documents is a lot of red tapes you have to go through. A lot of red tapes. And when you go to these ministries, the people like they don't care. When they go to legal affairs, time 2 o'clock, the cash register closed. These are the problems we have to be solving in our country called Trinidad and Tobago. See how we can make all the regional corporations efficient. See how we can get councillors to be full-time councillors and be paid a proper salary. These are the things we have to fix in our country. Don't try to divide us. We have members of parliament sitting down in our parliament who are under investigation for human trafficking. That's what we're supposed to be dealing with. We have members of parliament who sitting in the lower house who have to account for over 400 million TT. Taxpayers' money. That's what we're dealing with. We have people in the upper house who is senators. When there was Minister for Sports, live sport, 400 million. One man went away $32 million. Not even a blackboard that he put in a classroom and write the word text. And over 27 people was murdered. That's what we're supposed to be dealing with. We have problems to fix. And the only way we can fix it is you and I. You and I have to stand up for what is right in this country. And I will talk left and right. And I don't care who say X, Y, and Z about Wendell Eversley. I want to see this country become a paradise where our children could say, this is my country and I want to develop my country instead of getting the education, being professional, and then run to develop another man's country. Always studying that. This is what we're supposed to be studying. Trinidad and Tobago. We have to put country first. We have to put country first. And I will close off on that section. And I will say this. We live in a country with different races. And the problem now is how we deal with it by putting Trinidad and Tobago first. You see, we have to know what we want to know. As a nation, we have to know what we want. We have a general election coming up next year, which is just a matter of fact. The current government and the current opposition is in the last year of being an opposition and being a government. And the people will call, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the voting population, will be called upon to choose a government. I say it again. The government of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Keith Christopher Rowley, and the opposition of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Kamla Prasad Bisesa, is in the final year. As a matter of fact, the 10th of August already passed. The 10th of October, the 10th of September will make it 11 more months again to go for those in opposition and those in government. The government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago have until the 10th of August 2025 to call a general election. One government went over the date of calling a general election, and that was Kamla Prasad Bisesa. She take the extra 3 months. I do not know if the PNM will take the extra 3 months, or Kitwali will take the extra 3 months. We have a budget coming up, which will be the final budget of the PNM for 2024-2025. They have no more budget to present to the population of Trinidad and Tobago until a new government is formed. The parliament will be called to dissolve. The Prime Minister will notify the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago about dissolving the Parliament. You see, Trinidad and Tobago, under the Constitution Review Committee headed by Senior Counsel Barry Sinanan, I want to tell all you who is Barry Sinanan. And some people don't know who is Barry Sinanan. Barry Sinanan is a well-known lawyer, and his family is well-known lawyers from San Fernando, from a law firm called Hobson's. You see, all he doesn't want to study about the history and about the backgrounds of lawyers in this country. So I want to tell you all, Barry Sinanan, he is now Senior Counsel Barry Sinanan, because he was appointed silk recently by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. He was one of those who received his appointment by the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Barry Sinanan was a member of Parliament for San Fernando West under Patrick Manning, who was the Prime Minister. Barry Sidenan was the Speaker of the House of Representatives for the lower house under Patrick Manning. So I'm giving you all a history of Barry Sidenan. Barry Sidenan come from the law firm Hobson's in San Fernando. While Patrick Manning was the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Patrick Manning was the Member of Parliament for San Fernando East, Barry Sidenan was the Member of Parliament for San Fernando West. When Penelope Beckles was the Deputy Speaker under Barry Sidenan. Danny Montano whose brother is Robin Montano, who left the PNM, who was a senator as an opposition member with the PNM under Patrick Manning, went and joined the UNC, Robin Montano, because he contested the seat for San Fernando East, and where Patrick Manning beat him. So I want to get all the history. Danny Montano, which is his brother, was the president of the Senate of the House of Representatives, or the upper house. So you see Trinidad and Tobago, we see in this country people of a different race belonging to all political parties. Their family belonging to all political parties. So whatever party in power, they have the people inside. I call it inside. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. People just say the 1%. But the 1% in every party in this country called Trinidad and Tobago. The 1% even in the COP. And I don't remember the COP. They're in the PNM and they're in the UNC. They have senators who in the UNC right now in the upper house is 1%. And then there's the belt and the goal to talk about the 1%. You see the hypocrisy in these people? But you see, when I give you the facts, I just come with the history. I just come with the facts. I have everything in here. I have everything in here. So when I tell you these things, but what I cannot understand right now is that the committee that they put in place talk about the right two-thirds limit for Prime Minister, talk about fixed dates for the election, talk about proportional representation, talk about service commission, talk about sexual preference or sexual orientation. And these things have been on the drawing board by every committee appointed by Prime Minister, past and present, concerning constitutional reform, and they refuse it. Kamla Prasad Bissessa set up a constitutional reform committee headed by the Legal Affairs Minister Prakash Ramada. Prakash Ramada had Justice Venter as the chairman and Mole Hodge as its vice chairman. They went length and breadth throughout Trinidad and Tobago, keeping consultation. A matter of fact, I went and submit. I went as an individual and submit what I want to see in the constitutional reform. And it was right to recall two-thirds limit, referendum, fixed election date, all these things. So what this committee is seeing today is what was the committee under Kamla Prasad Bissessa. Under Kamla Prasad Bissessa did recommend, but I want to tell you the hypocrisy in it. This present government said they're not going with constitutional reform. With the constitution, they're not going with the right to recall. They're not going with the 2/3 limit. They're not going with fixed date for the election. They're not going with full-time MPs. At the convention, if you all listen to it Sunday gone, because I listen to all political parties, they say they're not going with it. And it bring about the steel pan. Although the Terence Farrell, I think it's Terence Farrell, who said they never talk about that. But we heard about the steel pan. But I want to bring you all the hypocrisy in the UNC. When the report was presented to Kamla Prasad Visesa, which was headed by Prakash Ramada. Trinidad and Tobago, listen to what I'm telling you all. When the report was presented to Kamla Prasad Visesa, Anand and Ram Logan, and I believe Prakash Ramada also, went in some room and changed the report and bring a runoff bill. Yeah, only listen to what I'm telling all you. So when I just say PLM is the problem, UNC is not the solution. Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Prasad Visesa, the UNC, is one of the biggest set of hypocrites that we are seeing today in this country as an opposition party. As an opposition party. I come here to talk so much, I think, today on the Eversley show. They went in a room and remove everything that Justice Venter and Mole Hodge and her committee presented to the former Prime Minister, who is now opposition leader of this lower house. No wonder the kind of people she has sitting next to her. And they want we to support them. But I, Wendell Eversley, will talk from now until election day is called, and I ask you all, do not support Kamla Prasad Visesa. She's too dangerous for this country. Because they don't want you all to hear this, you know. But I will talk it, and I will say it loud and clear. They bring the runoff bill. Yeah. Mole Hodge and Justice Venter said that was never introduced. They bring a bill to kill off third parties. They bring a bill to kill off COP. They bring a bill to kill off MOJ. They bring a bill to even kill off the party that, what the fella name? Philip Alexander, who going on about talking what kind of madness. To kill out his party and all. And Jack, the party who helped them to form the 5 parties, every one of them, they bring a bill to kill out all of them. Kamla Prasad Visesa did that. And when they bring that bill, if it was for Winston Dukaran and Caroline C. Prasad Bechad stand up in the parliament and vote against it, that would have been law in this country called Trinidad and Tobago today. So we're seeing what people have been talking today and don't want people to know the history, because all of them who bring constitutional reform have their faults. They have their faults. And Kamla, Mole Hodge, Justice Venter, they run a vicious campaign against these people. And the advisors who was Prakash Ramada, who today coming and saying all sorts of things on Facebook, there was silence back then as such a blasted hypocrites as lawyers. They're coming out to talk today. They're coming out to talk today. But Wendell Eversley is a small fry. But I'm glad I am a small fry. But God put a small fry to lead, just as how God had said, Moses, go and lead my people out of bondage. He said, I will be with you, I will guide you. And God bring me out of the parliament there, alive, and say, go out there and let the people know the truth. And I will continue to let them know the truth. There's a bunch of blasted hypocrites. So Trinidad and Tobago, I have plenty to say, but I will continue tomorrow. I'm supposed to talk about Dr. Delia Gabriel, but I will talk about that tomorrow. I want to talk about that separately. But I want to talk about putting country first. And that's what we have to do. Put Trinidad and Tobago first, because all of us arrive here. Everybody came here. We do not own this land. The native was wiped out. And the truth must be told. The truth must be told. The native was wiped out. So, immigration officers tell me to talk about PSA. But I can't talk about PSA. I will bring Preston George to talk about PSA right now. So I will bring on my co-host, Preston George. Tomorrow, on the Eversley show, I deal with two topics. Terence Barrett, the chairman of Angostura, and Dr. Delia Gabriel. Terence Barrett must go. Go on.
Who tell you to speak about PSC?
The immigration officers. They call me. They call me and they say, Leroy Baptiste must go. And but tonight, this evening, oh, let me go my happiness. My son called me today. You know, you write his final exam in Trinity Mocha. And he bring joy to me. He bring joy to me. He said, Daddy, on my way now to advance. And I want to say today, I'm a proud father, but only look out for it on Facebook. I go out. God.
What's that man saying?
Thanks.
Good day, good
Thanks.
day.
Good road.
Yeah. It's over that. Start up.
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. Once again, I am happy to be invited to the Wendell Eversley show. And he said he was about to speak about the persons who would have met him at the immigration department. And they were very concerned about the state of the PSA and their negotiations and monies and the 4% and all these different things, you know. And what is happening, it's really shocking to me, because as though persons did not understand what Leroy Baptiste said and is doing on June the 19th, Labor Day in Faizabad. I don't know if people in really understanding what is happening. That up to today, persons still wondering when they're going to receive increase in salary, when they're going to receive back pay, and what is the state of the negotiations. My friend, I am shocked, you know. I am really shocked to know that even the immigration officers, because not just last week I met a guy from in fact I spoke to a guy on the phone, and he from the airport authority, I remember the PSA, the Public Service Association, representing them up there, a certain aspect of the workers, and they want to know what is happening with negotiations. So I am just making a call once again on behalf of the members of the PSA and the wider public servants, that the union, the Public Service Association, President, General Secretary, First Vice President, Second Vice, should, and they owe it to the membership and the wider Trinidad and Tobago, the public servants, where they should put out a media release, make some type of release so that the workers and the members and the wider public servants and Trinidad and Tobago could be made aware as to what the decision was made, that was made on November 19th in Faizabad, you know, on that grand occasion. And I'll just remind you all what Leroy Baptiste said, that after taking the matter, the 4% to the High Court, to separate the 4%, and the High Court ruled in the PSA favor, listen, okay, you are right, Leroy Baptiste, no 4% ruling, no 4% negotiations, go back to the CPO now and negotiate for 2% and the 2% back pay. And then when that is completed, then you will negotiate for the other 2%, which will in fact be the same 4%. On realizing that he win, or they won the matter, big win, sent out a release. And then waited until Labor Day to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago that not that he will not be going back to negotiate for the 2% that he wanted, that he think we deserve, but then he declared down there that he will wait. We, the members of the PSA and the PSA, will wait until the government change, until the UNC come into office. That is when negotiations is going to start back, my friends. So those brothers and colleagues and comrades in the immigration department, my friends, there is no negotiations to take place. There is no back pay to receive, no increase in salary until the UNC come into office. I didn't think I could say better than that. The only thing is, Leroy Batiste got into hiding because we are waiting, we have been calling on him to come and tell us what year will the UNC come into office, my friends. Because we want our monies. And if that is when they're going to come into office, we're going to get it. Then we want to know from Leroy Batiste, when he looked through the crystal ball, what year will the UNC, led by Kamla Prasad Bisesa, come into office? Leroy Batiste, immigration officers want to know about the monies and the back pay. August holidays, it's school books again, it's transport, it's property tax, and everything is on the rise. The car to drop the children to school, to put fruits and juice in the lunch kit. And our salary is just the same from 2014 to now. Teachers, police, they got an ease. The defense force, because of the wisdom of their union leaders. But who and what is Leroy Batiste? Because he was never leading anything anywhere. How he ended up the leader? How he ended up a president of a union? How, my friends? And that is it there. We end up with an unfit human being being placed by another unfit human being to govern the PSA. Watson Duke grabbed who is also unfit, my friends. Unfit. Grab Leroy Batiste, who is also unfit, who have decided that he will not come to the members for the members to choose him if they want him. But he accepted Watson Duke because the PSA belonged to Watson Duke own. It's his own, his mother put in a will for him and that kind of thing. So he said, happening, come here, Leroy Batiste. Now, he had no intentions of handing anyone that position. If we remember well, Watson Duke lied to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the PSA members, my friends, telling them that November the 30th will be his last working day. He resigning. I told my people, give him a pension. His people. So they take the membership union dues, hand him it, give it to him, over $600,000. Listen good. Without he giving them a resignation letter in return, my friends. Listen good. No resignation letter. So he never resigned. But he got almost, in fact, over $600,000 of the members' union dues, my friends, to go and campaign in Tobago with our monies. That is not fraud. That is not fraud, my friend. That is not robbery. Tell me if that is not robbery. And then he came back. After the money was, they drank out the money, they fed out the money, they vomit all about it in the Magdalena, do all kind of nastiness in the hotel. He came back and said he changed his mind. And he never brought back the monies, my friend. The membership monies. Isn't that an act of fraud? Isn't that, my friends? What is that? Well, I would have made a report to the fraud squad with that, where it's concerned, you know. And I have not heard or seen anything come out of it. Yeah. Other members of the PSA would have made report where that is concerned. Because that clearly is robbery. That is gangsterism. That's what it is. And now today, we are wondering where this crime wave come from in Tobago. The people of Tobago, they knew who he was. They know how dishonest a human being is. They all knew. And you know how, what confirmed that they all knew? Farley Augustine had to promise the people of Tobago that he will keep Watson Duke far, far as possible away from the monies, my friend. From the monies. The people of Tobago have exchanged decency and goodness for vagabondism, if there's such a word. Yeah. And thieves and crooks. And now they're wondering where this crime wave come from, my friends. Well, this is the same man who decided that the man to replace him is Leroy Baptiste. That is the same man. And put Leroy Baptiste in charge. Leroy Baptiste, who nobody knew before that time, decided, I am going to be known. I am going to make myself known. I have lived my life. I have reached 60 years of age. And it appears as though nobody in Trinidad knows me. They only know Watson Duke. Well, I will let them know that I am more popular than Watson Duke. And he decided that he going down Faizabad. And when he opened his mouth, a diarrhea came out, my friends. Diarrhea came out of his mouth. Yeah, as though he was constipated for months. You would have heard what was said. And now members, even up to this present time, are unable to understand what exactly was said and done down there. But you know, the party that he's telling us to vote for and the leader that he's telling us to vote for to remove the government, he said, listen, it was under them that we received 14%. We received 14%. My friends, the Kamla Persad Bissessa government, they left office, my friends, believing they could have fooled the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago, even though they put the 14% in writing and never paid it, rejected them on the 14%. Rejected them. And not once, my friends. She had been rejected twice. In fact, she has been rejected twice in the general elections and nearly 12 to 13 times in the local and by-election in Trinidad and Tobago. She is a rejected leader and a rejected party, and that is the party and the leader that Leroy Baptiste saying, listen. And now they are saying that they want to know, Leroy Baptiste, if you were able to force your wife and your children to vote and support the unfit Kamla Persad Bissessa and the thief in UNC, they want to know. They want to know. Because that word thief, my friends, I didn't make up that and call them that, you know. A man called McCandle Daga, who was part of the partnership representing the leadership of the NJAC, was part of them, and when he couldn't take it no more, he said it's only thieves. That's what they are. And the whole of Trinidad and Tobago is aware of that. They are thieves.
Who's the thief there?
Well, stand up right there, over here. Right there, wait right there. And you go here with the thieves. Don't go too far. That is what they are. The people of Trinidad and Tobago rejected her. Rejected she, her leadership, and the UNC because they recognize them as thieves. And corrupt. My friends. And Leroy Baptiste telling us, like he and all even want to vote for she because we can't even find him. Leroy Baptiste and all like he going into hiding. You know, if you're supporting a party, you would come out and campaign because you want them to win, you want public servants to get money. Well, Leroy Baptiste people, he and all going hiding. Like the ostracized he and all. Leroy Baptiste, the dunce, where are you? Where are you, Leroy Baptiste? The wannabe. He wanna be a union president and wanna be a politician. I don't know. What kind of dunce human being Watson Duke put up upon the people in Trinidad and Tobago and the public service? Well, I mean, we didn't expect not much or better than that. Watson Duke, one who, you know, and I saw TV6 interviewing Watson Duke on the crime situation in Tobago. Yeah, Watson Duke, who had been charged for rape, 4 counts of sexual assault. Now the people of Tobago, they had no problem with that. They had no problem with that record. Yeah. They had no problem with that. They overlooked that. Yeah. Because I died nothing. You know, the other day, a schoolgirl was picked up by a car to carry her to school, take her off the route in Tobago, rape the young girl. She made a report. And the Secretary for Education was on the television behaving as though she so care and she's so sad and it's such a sad thing. But what about the lady who made the report on Watson Duke and he was charged in Trinidad and Tobago? Is it because she was from Trinidad? Is a different woman that is having Trinidad to one Tobago? How dishonest and deceitful you all could be. And that is why they are unable, my friends, at this present time, because the example they have set for the young people is that you could be a thief, you could be a crook. It's okay in Tobago. At one time now it appeared it was okay in Trinidad. Yeah. But it seems as though it's okay now. So you're running the mall, you're robbing people black as white, anywhere in Tobago. Where they learn that from, my friends? Who teach them that? Where they learn that? Just look at Watson Duke and the history of Watson Duke, my friends, and who he would have surrounded himself with while he hijacked the Public Service Association. And the things that came out of his mouth. Watson Duke said that if they investigate WASA, now WASA is the place where he, while being on secondment from the union, from WASA to do union business, got a contract for $16 million, my friend, from the same WASA. And the newspaper report says they couldn't find the workers and no managers, nothing. That's 16 million of our monies, my friend. 16 million. A man named Adolphus Daniel. Only remember he get 34 million. Listen good. He got 34 million that was supposed to be used to set up classrooms to teach young people. Never buy book, chalk, blackboard, nothing. They come and they give him 4 more. Now the 60 that he got, and the 60 that Watson Duke got, and the 34 that he got, my friends, both of them alone, that's 50 million. That is 50 million, my friends, of our monies that we was able to identify. But what about those? In fact, you know what Daniel said, Mr. Daniel, before he died? He said, I will not be giving it back. You know why he said that? Because that'll lock up those who, in fact, would have, he didn't go and thief the money, you know. So if they give you that, and they give Watson Duke that, what they did for themselves? What? They are thieves. That is what they are. And McCandle Dagger said it. McCandle Dagger said it. Jack Warner would have said it on other occasions. Yeah. He said they came in there with nothing. All of them. And just look around now. And that is what Leroy Baptiste and the UNC, because my friend, let me tell you something. What Leroy Baptiste did, he didn't do it on his own. It was well calculated. It was a plan drawn up between himself and the UNC to oppress the workers of Trinidad and Tobago, to force them into a position where they must, you know what? They must just close their eye and vote for them. That was the plan. Since all they will not voluntarily vote for me because all they know, as I said, are thieves and crooks and are nasty, I will use duress and I will try to force. I will try to use force. Yeah. My friends, that is what they did. If you feel I'm joking, not long after Leroy Baptiste made that statement, on one of the Monday night program, I saw Jolene John speaking about it. Yeah. And proud. Because it's some good thing he did. Rather than condemn him for such an action. 4%. We the workers knew that that can't really do anything much. But if that is what it had, and in fact, the workers such as the police, the teachers, and based on the economic climate, and things were improving, the government said, listen, let us get that period out of the way and come back to the table for 2020, 2021 and 2022. They didn't accept it. They said we're going to court. When they reach in the court and realize what is happening, they say happening. We're going to take it and we're going to fight for 2020, 2021 and 2022, my friends. In the interest of their members. Some of their members, some got 15,000 back pay, some got 20, 25. I even met a friend of mine, I got 34,000. Now that, from since 2014, it would ease the financial burden, it will pay some bills, it will balance you off a bit. Give you breathing space. So going to 2020, 2021, 2022, my friends. And that is what the UNC and Leroy Batiste have denied us. Yeah, man? You know what I'm saying? The same UNC, when it had real money, find that we must only get 5% with Watson Duke. Only forget that? He signed off after had people marching all about in tongue here. In the dead of the night, we wake up and hear that Watson Duke signed for 5%. And it had a oil boom. That way money running and the thief and all the money. Money not for we to work and not for us. And Watson Duke had no problem with that. Watson Duke and Leroy Batiste, these are the kind of people, my friends, that caused this Atlantic slave trade to last for 400 years. It is them, my friends. They are traitor to the people, my friends. That's what they are. They are traitors. And when you see them, you must let them know that we have recognized them. They are traitors of their own kind. They will sell down to the dog and all, if it will benefit them. Pretending that they're standing up. Yeah. Pretending. A man called Al-Rari had to run Watson Duke from the PSA because the membership money is his. Full of greed. Nasty human being. Yeah. Yeah. And that is the people, my friends, who would rush in a hurry, yeah, to represent people. Yeah. Yeah. And they cannot speak to the young people in Tobago because it's gangsterism, if there's such a word. That is what they teach the young men in the streets in the build-up to what took place in Tobago. Yeah. That is what is happening. And they are now acting out. My friends, before and during the elections in Tobago, 5 Tobagonians took a boat. Took a boat, my friends. And they went Grenada and rob a bank. They went and robbed a bank in Grenada. Almost every Trinidadian had relatives there. Where they learn that? Where they learn that, my friends? Where they learn that? They didn't learn that in Trinidad. No. And you know, they're quite quick to blame Trinidadian doing things. No. Now they're shooting and killing one another in the streets. They don't care if it's child dead, mother dead, auntie dead. And you know, there was a time when they would always tell you all that we know one another. You know, now like nobody in Tobago. Because nobody can tell you who's the thieves and who's the crooks and who they doing the shooting. Nobody. They are all aware, my friends. They are all aware. So my immigration friends and those other public servants and public officers, you all have a choice to make. Why continue to pay your $100 to a people who cares nothing about you, but only seeking their own political interests? Because It is understood that whichever government in office, the role of the union is to look and seek for the best that they could get at the time for their membership. And in case we find that the 4% wasn't good enough, just ask Ansel Roger what happened with him, his union, and representing the workers in Tiantec, my friends. Let's ask him, because they behave like they're stupid and they don't know what's going on. So ask Ansel Roger what happened to those workers in Tiantec that his union was representing for the same period. Just ask the Estate Constable Association what took place even with their group at the same Tiantec. And the government said, listen, we have 4% here, all the comfort and things better. We go fight up and see what we could. So if we get 4%, and then we come and get 7% or 8%, like 12% in quick succession, my friends. You could do something. But what they do, they know that even the 4%, even with the 4%, the plumber and the mason and the welder will get work in the neighborhood. They know that the tradesmen, the hustlers, will get work. And what is going to happen? The economy will spin a little, will flourish a bit. And you don't want that leading up to elections, my friend, where the people looking as though and sounding like if they're happy a bit. No, no. So, what Leroy Baptiste did, he did not do it on his own. He don't have the kind of sense to come up with that on his own. That dunce. It was well calculated by the unfit. And my friends, I'm not making another word that's saying she unfit, you know. A man called Satmaraj, a man called Jack Warner, said, keep your children, don't get your children away from she. What could make Satmaraj says, and even revoke an invitation where she was supposed to come and speak on our Indian Arrival Day celebration? What, my friends? Satmaraj. And he's not the only one that says she unfit, including Jack Warner. McCandle Dagger called them thieves. Yeah. Another pundit just a few days ago in the local elections tell the children, don't keep she far away. Do not vote for her. So what happened is Leroy Baptiste, which part you live in? What country you living in? My friends. And these are the people that ending up in leadership position, my friends. A lot of people who are unqualified and unfit. Unqualified meaning they have no moral and they are not guided by, they are no, you know, I'll ever see a kite with the compass, no compass and it bursts. With the compass bursts, that is what they are. Yes. My friends, we will not, don't matter, we will, in fact, the people, you see public officers staying quiet, Leroy Baptiste, they're waiting. You see the wickedness, you and the UNC, that plot, that always drop, where you must ill-treat the workers, after promising 14%, never paid. Never paid. People looking forward to the back pay. Eh? And on your way out, you thief $1 billion from your money that the Prime Minister had to go and get back for us. And now, all it come together to make sure that suffering and hardship come upon the people in a wicked way, unnecessarily. Leroy Baptiste, you and the UNC, led by Kamla Prasad Bisesa, my friends, going to pay. You know why? You see that evil that took place down there? And what was nice, almost all the unions on that day, they say, listen, you see that diarrhea that came out of his mouth? We don't want no part of that. We don't want no part of that. That is what was said. Yeah. So the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and what they do, Leroy Batiste. So it wasn't money they voted and rejected the UNC for. They rejected them because of the level of corruption and nastiness that took place when they was in government, my friends. They took the people for fools, and the people waited for that day when we will pay them back. And you must now tell us what has changed. Is it that Kamla Persad Bisasa has repented? Is it that her ways are different? Is it that she now... Kamla Persad Bisasa went and got a man named Volney to be part of our government. Do you remember Volney? Like, as you have a nasty mind, it have room for you. Yeah. Remember Volney? And then he lying and balling as though he had no part in whatever happened. Yeah. Volney, the bad boys man. Yeah. Yeah. Coming and saying he's sorry. From the time you would have done some evil and in line to do more, they have room for you there, my friends. Yeah. And that position that Dukaran and Caroline Sipochan Bechan would have taken on that night in the parliament, on the day in the parliament when they rejected the runoff bill, my friends. I hear Wendell speaking about it, where it was supposed to kill off small parties. The intention, my friends, was not really to kill off small parties. The people who put that together didn't mind. We kill one another, not parties. We, the citizens, we kill one another, because what that was supposed to do is that who win, ain't win, and who lost, ain't lost. And then you go again. So you win, you get more votes, but you ain't win. So that is not for me to kill one another in the streets. These bright people. But how is only when they lost and in opposition, these nice thoughts that come? When they were in government, nobody talk about the runoff and try to bring it? None. My friends, I see Wendell watching me a kind of way, and I think he want to come back and say, so I'll just see where we're looking. So I'll have a nice evening, and I'll keep good. Thank you.
Good afternoon again, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, you see, we like to keep the time. 12 to 2. Today I start a little late because of the good news. But you all are here for the good news, because I have to celebrate from now until I escort my son in lower 6. But I'm a happy man. Sports and education. Representing Trinidad and Tobago. And he makes sure that he's on top of the ball when it comes to his studies. That is a great achievement. And anybody should be proud that he makes sure that I am staying focused. But Trinidad and Tobago, a group of people called me just now in the center of the waterfall there. You see the little fountain they have there? And they said, Mr. Eversley, we want you to bring your program in the middle of the square. There's a lot of people listening to you. And from tomorrow, 12 o'clock, I will be in the middle of the square, where all those people you see there, Mr. George, I heard when the sergeant come and tell me just now. He said he's a national patriot, keep up the work, Mr. Eversley.
Yeah, I heard him.
Sergeant who in charge of the parliament. He said he's a national patriot, keep up the work, Wendell Eversley. Tomorrow, I will deal with Dr. Delia Gabriel and Andel Jagannath, Dr. Andel Jagannath, who was charged and found guilty for drug trafficking, who is a doctor, young as Dr. Gabriel, and his license intact. And Dr. Gabriel used a certain N-word, no C-word, and she was never charged by no TTPS, but they dismiss her and they also take away her license. Trinidad and Tobago, I will be talking about that tomorrow. One is an East Indian doctor, and the other doctor is an African, Dr. Delia Gabriel, young just as Dr. Adele Jagonat, who license is intact and the medical board ain't doing nothing about it. But Dr. Delia Gabriel, who is an African, young, bright, brilliant African doctor, working PH taxi and selling shatine in the market in Tunapuna. Trinidad and Tobago, I talking about country, and discrimination must stop. Discrimination must stop. And also, I am going and call on Terence Barrett must resign voluntarily, or I go and protest in front of Angostura. And I already get the forms. It's just I didn't have time to file under the Freedom of Information. But I will be doing that early next week. I will talk about more and about that, about Angostura and Dr. Delia Gabriel tomorrow. We must see changes in this country called Trinidad and Tobago. Those who love the red and white and black must stand up now for our country. So Trinidad and Tobago, on the Eversley show, coming live from the People's Parliament, the University of WoodFord Square, signing off. Preston George and myself. Preston George will continue with the PSA because when immigration officers tell me yesterday to talk about the ills that going on, and they're calling on PSA members to take back the union, I will say something on it tomorrow before Preston George come on and elaborate. Trinidad and Tobago, I am out. God be with you. I love my country. I love the red, white and black. I love Trinidad and Tobago. I love you all. Good afternoon, everybody.